Let me give you some thoughts on teaching effective brushing. These thoughts, in my opinion, will help the patient to understand what they're trying to accomplish and make brushing more effective. Number two, it will help them prevent recession and the subsequent root abrasion that occurs long term. Let's talk about the biggest mistakes made in ordinary brushing. One of them is using too much toothpaste, or in this case, tooth gel, which I advocate. Toothpaste companies would like to see you cover up all the bristles because they want to sell more toothpaste. But if you use that much toothpaste, you create so much foam, and actually that toothpaste doesn't dissolve and it just gums up, and you really cannot do a good job of brushing. So therefore, using too much toothpaste is counteractive in my opinion. And on the right, you see the dollop of tooth gel, which is certainly adequate to create enough foam to thoroughly brush the teeth. So don't overdo it. Don't make the toothpaste companies happy, make your patient happy. So making brushing more effective, preventing recession and root abrasion. I'm pointing out you want to use a gel rather than a paste. And one of the things I think we need to distinguish between is what is cervical erosion and what is cervical corrosion. Now, what we're doing when we use water in just on a toothbrush and not a paste, then we're creating erosion. But once you add a chemical to that, and let's face it, toothpaste or tooth gel is a chemical, we're creating some level of corrosion. And certainly when we talk about GERD and acid regurgitation, that certainly is corrosion on that. Making a tube of tooth gel last longer. Here's a used up tube of tooth gel, ready to be thrown away. However, if you will take and suck on that a little bit, you can get a dollop of tooth gel on there adequate for brushing. And I have found by doing this, I can get an extra 2 to 3 weeks of use out of what ordinarily would be a used up tube of tooth gel. There's also an advantage to this. For what is one of the things that husbands and wives argue about? Someone failing to put the top on the toothpaste, not squeezing it right. So what I advocate is each member of the family should have their own tube of tooth gel, so therefore they can suck the tooth gel out of it, make it last longer, and avoid that family argument. Toothbrush design. Here are two vastly different toothbrush designs, both made by the same company. I don't think toothbrush design makes a whole lot of difference as long as it's a soft brush. And there's no problem now finding soft brushes. And I make a comment about mechanical or battery operated devices, toothbrushes. These are fine. I have always used a brush and am very good at using the brush. Don't use too much tooth gel. Empty out the excessive saliva, and I can do a very adequate job with using a hand brush. Now let's go to the video where I can point out these things to you live. You've just watched the presentation on more effective toothbrushing, and now I'd like to demonstrate some of the things that we talked about on there. Remember, don't sit down and squeeze all of this toothbrush paste on there. Because let me show you what happens when you do that. I'm trying to hold all those suds in there, and look what's happening to my cheeks. I'm holding those so close together. So what you want to do, you only want to cover up just with a dollop the bristles on there. Look how little tooth gel I have. Now, look when I brush, I'm not holding all those suds in there. And notice that I'm using a rotary motion. The teeth are close together. Notice I don't have any trouble holding the suds in there. And I put the teeth together and look what's happened to the zygomatic arch. I can look up underneath there and I can get behind that tooth. And I use sort of a rotary motion to do that. When I come across the front, I change. I come back here, but look how easy it is for me to talk. And come down, either on the lower left, switch. But now look how much saliva that I created just from stimulating the mouth. And there's still plenty of paste in there to go on the second pass around the teeth. So let's start on the top right this time. Notice how well I can do those upper molars. Switch. Behind. Switch. And we're basically through. Now, when you're brushing, tell the patients to visualize what they're doing initially. Because sitting, what we do is we're trying to show a patient how to brush. They're holding up the mirror, and that's like backing a trailer. You don't look in the mirror when you brush your teeth. You're thinking about what you need to do for the day. Your brushing habit is down. Go ahead and show the patient how to develop a better brushing habit. Again, putting the teeth almost together, lifting up the cheek to get on the distal of these. You'll do a good job of brushing, and I hope that this will help you.